everyone, welcome back to GK Today. I am Sana and in this video we'll cover the current affairs. Before we move ahead, let me inform you that these questions are part of our daily 20 MCQ series 2022 in the GK Today's Android application. So if you are looking for the text version of these questions and their explanations along with the interactive quiz, you may consider joining our daily 20 MCQ series in the GK Today Android application. In this course in app, you get daily 20 MCQs, a fortnightly quiz, a monthly revision document, and also category-wise revision e-books that are optimized for reading on mobile. You are also able to access all archives of questions from January 2020 onwards. And let me tell you one more thing. If you want the Hindi version of this session, you can refer to our former channel named as GK Today. The link has been given in the description box from where you can reach to. So without taking much of your time, let's get started. Good morning everyone. Welcome back to GK Today. And today we'll be discussing most important MCQs for 7th of July 2022. Let's start. What is the theme of the Digital India Week 2022? So Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the Digital India Week 2022 in Gandhinagar in the state of Gujarat. And the theme for the Digital India Week is Catalyzing the New India's Decade, and Prime Minister also launched the Digital India Bhashini to enable easy access to the internet and digital services in Indian languages. Okay, so Digital India Genesis was also launched at the same event, and it is a kind of national deep tech startup platform to support successful startups in tier 2 and tier 3 cities. Okay, and total outlay of this program is 750 crore rupees. So a global repository of the key projects implemented under India Stack was also launched. Okay, so don't forget what was the theme for this week, Catalyzing New India's Decade. Let's see some of the important days and themes. What is the theme of the National Doctors Day 2022? So every year, this day is observed on 1st of July in the memory of Dr. Bidhan Roy, who was the former Chief Minister of Bengal since 1991. And this year theme was Family Doctors on the Front Line. So this day basically honors the contributions made by the doctors and the healthcare professionals along with the sacrifices they have made to save millions of lives. Okay, so this day is observed on 1st of July and this is the theme for this year. When is the World Unidentified Flying Object, that is UFO Day, observed? So every year on 2nd of July, the UFO Day is celebrated, and it aims to create awareness to gather together and watch the skies for the unidentified flying objects. Okay, next is Alluri Sitarama Raju was a freedom fighter from which present-day state? So Prime Minister Narendra Modi recently unveiled a 30-feet bronze statue of legendary freedom fighter Alluri Sitaram Raju on his 125th birth anniversary. And this 15-ton statue was carved out at a cost of 3 crore rupees, and it was installed by the Kshatriya Seva Samiti in Bhimavaram in the state of Andhra Pradesh. So this leader was known for the Rampa Rebellion or Manyam Uprising, which was undertaken against the mighty British forces. Okay, so he was a freedom fighter from Andhra Pradesh. What is the theme for International Day of Cooperatives 2022? So this day is observed on the first Saturday of July month every year, and this day it fell on 2nd of July. And what was the theme for this year? Cooperatives build a better world. Okay, when is the World Asteroid Day observed? So World Asteroid Day is celebrated every year on 30th of June. When is the International Day of Parliamentarism observed? It is also observed on 30th of June. Okay, next question. Lisbon Declaration, which was seen in the news recently, is associated with the conservation of which entity? So the United Nations Ocean Conference 2022 concluded with the unanimous adoption of the Lisbon Declaration, our ocean, our future and our responsibility. Okay. So more than 150 countries agreed to scale up this science-based and innovative action to address the ocean emergency, and the Lisbon Declaration takes into account the capacity challenges that are being faced by the developing countries, mainly the small island developing states and the least developing countries. Okay, so answer would be ocean. So Lisbon Declaration is related to the oceans. Okay, coming to the question slide, the Environment Ministry directed to constitute a project screening committee in each state or the union territory with how many members? So Union Environment Ministry directed to constitute a project screening committee in each state or the union territory with total 5 members. So according to the Forest Conservation Rules 2022, this committee will meet at least twice every month and it will advise the state governments on the projects in a time-bound manner. And also this committee is to be formed for an initial review of the proposals involving the diversion of the forest land. Okay. Which Union Ministry released the Foreign Contribution Regulation Amendment Rules 2022? So the central government has made 7 amendments to the existing rules of the Foreign Contribution Act Rules 2011. And according to the notification that has been released by Ministry of Home Affairs, the ministry can suspend the FCRA registration initially for 180 days on inspection of the accounts and on receiving any adverse input against the functioning of an association. Okay. Next is, which Union Ministry released the States Startup Ranking 2021? So Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, that works under Ministry of Commerce and Industry, has released the Startups Ranking 2021. And this ranking focuses on 7 reform areas. And don't forget that Gujarat, Karnataka and Meghalaya were categorized as the best performers, while Bihar, Andhra Pradesh, Mizoram and Ladakh had an emerging startup ecosystem, while Kerala, Maharashtra, Odisha, Telangana and Jammu Kashmir were ranked as the top performers section. Okay. National Apprenticeship Promotion Scheme is the initiative of which Union Ministry? So this is the initiative of Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. Which body is responsible for the implementation of the Nipun project of the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs? Answer is National Skill Development Corporation, that is NSDC. You have to tell me what is the full form of Nipun, and don't ever forget that Nipun project is related to which ministry? Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Swadesh Darshan scheme is the initiative of which Union Ministry? This is the initiative of Ministry of Tourism. Fine. Next question. Which Central Armed Force launched the Operation Narcos? So Railway Protection Force has launched a month-long pan-India drive against smuggling of narcotics, basically through rail, under code name Operation Narcos. Okay. So in the month of June 2022, RPF has recovered various narcotic product worth 7.4 crore rupees and arrested 165 persons who were carrying the narcotic drugs and psychotropic substances. Fine. So RPF has been empowered to conduct search, seizure and arrest under the MPPSC Act since April 2019. Fine. Coming to the question slide, here we'll see some of the important institutions that are important. Which institution has announced to introduce a mandatory course on the caste awareness? So the Indian Institute of Technology, Bombay, that is IIT Bombay, has planned to introduce a mandatory course on the caste awareness. So as per the surveys conducted by the SC/ST cell of the institution, it was proposed to provide more sensitization events and a mandatory academic course on caste and racial discrimination. Okay, and earlier a mandatory gender sensitization course was launched last year in IIT Bombay. Fine. Which institution has released a report titled as Harnessing the Green Hydrogen? So this report belongs to Niti Aayog. The Union Cabinet approved the categorization of which institution as an international organization in the month of July 2022. So Union Cabinet has decided to categorize the CDRI, that is Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure, as the international organization. Okay, which is the only institution in India to issue the electoral bonds. So don't forget that State Bank of India has the sole authority to issue the electoral bonds in India. Which institution approved 2 loans of $500 million each to support India's health sector? This is World Bank. And before that, World Bank has also decided to approve $250 million for India's road safety program. Okay, so don't forget that $250 million from World Bank is related to the road safety program and $500 million is related to India's health sector. Which institution has authorized 2 Indian private firms for the space launches? This is in space. And what is the full form? Indian National Center for Space Promotion and Authorization. Okay. Next question. Who is the winner of the 2022 Malaysia Open men's title? So Tokyo champion Victor Axelsen and Thailand's Ratchanak Intanon won the singles title at the 2022 Malaysia Open. Coming to the question slide, which Indian state clinched their maiden Ranji Trophy title in 2022? So Madhya Pradesh has won this particular title by defeating Mumbai. Okay. Which Indian bagged the Lancet Panel Pacific International Snooker title in Melbourne? This is Saurav Kothari. Which racing driver won the Azerbaijan Formula 1 Grand Prix title in 2022? So it has been won by Max Verstappen, second was Sergio Perez, and third was George Russell. Okay. Who is the winner of the French Open 2022 men's single title? So the winner of this title in men's category is Rafael Nadal, and from which country he belongs to? He is from Spain. Who is the winner of the French Open tennis women's singles 2022 title? It has been won by Iga Swiatek, and she is from the country Poland. Now talking about the Australian Open men's single title, it was won by Rafael Nadal, again from Spain, and he has defeated Daniil Medvedev from Russia. Okay. Don't forget that Daniil Medvedev was spotted at first position in the ATP rankings this time. And talking about the women's category, the first position was occupied by Ashley Barty from the country Australia. Okay. Next question. The Environment Ministry directed to constitute a project screening committee in each state or the union territory with how many members? I think we have done this question, and I have already told you that the Union Ministry has constituted a project screening committee in each state or the union territory with total 5 members. Okay. And this committee will meet at least twice every month, and they will advise the state governments on various things. Okay. Coming to the question slide, which Indian state has confirmed the presence of anthrax disease? So Kerala Health Ministry has confirmed the presence of anthrax after several wild boars contracted the infectious disease in Thrissur district of Kerala. So it is a kind of disease that is caused by the rod-shaped bacteria known as Bacillus anthracis, and it is a kind of zoonotic disease because it is naturally transmissible from animals to the humans. Okay. Which state signed a memorandum of understanding with the Singapore-based IGSS Ventures to set up a semiconductor fab unit and a semiconductor high-tech park? So Tamil Nadu and the Singapore-based IGSS Ventures signed this MOU for establishing a 300 acres semiconductor high-tech park and a semiconductor fabrication unit in the state. And for this purpose, the company will invest 25,600 crore rupees in the project in the next 5 years. So it will basically generate direct employment for 1,500 people, and this MOU was signed with Guidance, which is the state's nodal agency for investment promotion and single window facilitation. Okay, so this has been signed by the state Tamil Nadu. Kai chutney made of weaver ants is a popular food made in which state? So weaver ants are present in Mayurbhanj district in the state of Odisha. And the people of the district, especially the tribals, make a food item with the ants called as the Kai chutney. So scientists from Odisha are in the process of presentation for the GI tag for this Kai chutney. Okay. MPPSC signed a memorandum of understanding with which state to develop a 10 gigawatt ultra mega renewable energy power park. So for this purpose, NTPC has signed this MOU with the state Rajasthan. Which state or union territory introduced new assessment criteria for the students including happiness, Desh Bhakti and entrepreneurship mindset? This is New Delhi. Okay. Next question. Ashadhi Bridge is predominantly celebrated in which state? So this is the second day of Ashadha month of the Hindu calendar, which is associated with the beginning of rains in the Kutch region. So the Kutch people of Gujarat celebrate their new year on this day. Okay, answer would be Gujarat. Coming to the question slide, which of the following pairs of the festivals and the respective states are matched correctly? So we have to identify whether the festival is correctly associated with its state or not. Okay. First is Yugadi, Andhra Pradesh. This is absolutely correct. Second is Vishu from the state Kerala. Yes, this is a festival from the state Kerala. Next is Jur Sital from Bihar. This is also right. And last is Bohag Bihu from the state Assam. This is very famous and absolutely correct. So right answer would be all 1, 2, 3 and 4. All are correct. Next is Kheer Bhavani Mela is a festival celebrated in which Indian state or the union territory? So Kheer Bhavani Mela is a festival that is celebrated in Jammu and Kashmir. Baiko festival is predominantly celebrated in which Indian state? This is the festival that is celebrated in the state of Assam. Which Indian filmmaker has been selected for the Locarno Kids Award La Mobilier at Locarno Film Festival? This is Gitanjali Rao. Okay. Which state or union territory hosted the India's first Lavender Festival? So India's very first Lavender Festival has been hosted by the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. Can you tell me which ministry has inaugurated this particular festival? Do let me know in the comments. Next question. As per the Hurun India Future Unicorn Index 2022, which city is the startup capital of India? So according to the Hurun India Future Unicorn Index 2022, Bangalore continues to be the startup capital of India with 46 probable unicorn. Okay. Then it is followed by Delhi NCR with total 25 unicorns, and then it is followed by Mumbai with total 16 unicorn. So as per this index, India will have 122 new unicorns in the next 2 to 4 years. Okay. Let's see some of the important indices. What is the rank of India in the World Competitiveness Index 2022? In this, India's rank was 37. In the World Economic Forum's Travel and Tourism Development Index 2021, where does India rank? So in this, India has been ranked at 54th among 117 countries. And which were the top 3 countries? First was Japan, second was USA, and third was Spain. Which state topped the Food Safety and Standard Authority of India's 4th State Food Safety Index in 2022? So talking about the larger states, first was Tamil Nadu, second was Gujarat, and third was Maharashtra. And if we talk about the smaller states, then the first was Goa, second was Manipur, and the third was Sikkim. Fine. Now what was the theme for the World Food Safety Day 2022? The theme was safer food and greater health. And when do we observe this day? It is observed on 7th of June. Next is, what is the rank of India in the 2022 Environmental Performance Index? So in this ranking, we have been ranked at last position, that is at 180th rank. Okay. Next question. What is the real GDP growth forecast for India in financial year 23 by CRISIL? So domestic rating agency CRISIL lowered its real GDP growth forecast for India to 7.3% in financial year 23 from 7.8% that was estimated earlier. So it cited the reasons for downward revision to be higher oil prices and slowing of export demand and also the high inflation. Okay. So this forecast is in line with the RBI's estimate of 7.2% real GDP growth for this fiscal year. Okay. Let's revise some of the important projections from different organizations. What is the GDP growth projection for India in financial year 23 as per the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development's recent report, that is June 2022. So OECD has projected India's GDP growth to be at 6.9% for financial year 23. What is the projected GDP growth rate for India in 2022 according to Moody's? This is 8.8%. India's GDP forecast is maintained at what percentage according to ICRA? This value is at 7.2%. According to the Reserve Bank of India, what is India's current debt to GDP ratio? So this ratio is currently 88%. As per a recent World Bank report, June 2022, what is the GDP growth forecast for India in financial year 23? Answer would be 7.5%. Okay. Next question. Yair Lapid, who was seen in the news recently, is the new Prime Minister of which country? So the 58-year-old Yair Lapid recently took over as Israel's 14th Prime Minister after the country's parliament dissolved. And he built a coalition that ended Benjamin Netanyahu's record 12 consecutive years in power. Fine. Coming to the question slide. As per the United Nations World Drug Report, which country has the most number of opiate users in the world? So this is our country, India. Which country announced 75 fully funded scholarships for the Indian students in honor of India's 75th anniversary of independence? So UK has announced 75 fully funded scholarships for the Indian students to celebrate our 75 years of India's independence. In the PSLV C-53 mission, ISRO launched 3 satellites of which country? So we have launched 3 satellites of Singapore. And what is the full form of PSLV? Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle. Which country's central bank partnered with the Bank for International Settlement to establish a pooling scheme? This is the country China. India launched a joint Commonwealth Diplomatic Academy program with which country? So we have launched this joint Commonwealth Diplomatic Academy program with the country UK. Okay. Now let's start with today's quiz. Here on the slide you can see 5 questions which have been taken from the past 2-3 days current affairs. Pause the video and try to solve each of these questions. And at the end of the lecture, do not forget to share your scores in the comment section. So please be honest and do not cheat with yourself. So that's it for today. I hope you have liked the session. These were the important news and events from today. And we will meet again tomorrow with some more important current affairs. Till then, stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching. And please do not forget to subscribe to GK Today. With this, me Nuzhat Sana signing off.